Hey guys, Vicky here, the Words Lady and Book Coach, and today I wanted to talk to you about whether or not you have a book in you or whether or not you have a series of books in you. Ever thought about that? Yeah, so one of the big mistakes that people try to do when they're writing their first book is to brain dump. They think, oh my gosh, this is my one chance to get everything out of my head, my one chance to show the world how brilliant I am, or share the processors, or share everything that I figured out in life. And they want to put it all in one book. And this is a big fat no-no. On top of it, it could be why some people say they take 10 years or 20 years to write their book because they're trying to shove everything in it. And they're like, well, my life isn't over. I still have 20, 30, 40, 50 years left. Maybe I need to wait until later so that I can give people all of those awesome gems too. Guess what? You could actually write another book later. But let's get back to what the topic was. Do you have one book in you, or do you have a series of books in you? So if you're thinking, I need to brain dump, I have this to talk about, this to talk about, this to talk about, and this to talk about, and they sort of go together, but they don't really go together, you probably have a series of books, right? You need to niche down the books. You don't want to write a book that's like 5,000 pages long. We don't want War and Peace. We don't want something when people get it, it's this big, it looks like a dictionary or an encyclopedia, and they're like, oh, I don't want to read this, right? Or they have to leaf through it to only get to one part of it because that's the only part that they're interested in. Solve one problem, solve it really, really well in one book. Then if you want to solve an advanced problem of that, do that in the next book. And then an intermediate problem of that, do it in the next book, or things that are tied together. I've said before that, one of the things I learned to do very early on is sew. My mom is a seamstress. And if you look at a book for how to sew, right? You might get that book, and inside it shares, beginning sewing tips, cutting out patterns, what they mean, what the lines of it mean. Like, I don't know if it's called grain of the fabric, but I'm just going to go with that. Like which way you have to lay the fabric, where to fold it to cut the pattern, what different stitches are, how to read how long the stitches are on your sewing machine. Like maybe those are all beginner things. Maybe a little further down on that is more complicated things about like how to create your own patterns, how to make 3D things, because like I could only make flat things at first. Sew a straight line, that's it. But like how do you round a shoulder for a sleeve? How do you get that on right? Some of these things may or may not be of interest to somebody who is a beginner. And then maybe you start going into like, what if you want to quilt? And what if you want to make blankets? And what if you want to do embroidery? Like all these things are related, but they're not niched down and they're not the same. And so when somebody reads a book and they're thinking, I want to learn how to put a zipper in and how to do buttons and how to sew pants, and I want to learn the basic skills so that I can hem. But I don't need to be like a full-fledged seamstress and like fashion designer. They're going to want a certain book. They're not going to want one that also says how to design, how to, match your colors, how to this and that, how to embroider, how to hand stitch, blah, 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 how to do a quilt like they did in the 1800s. Like all those things are all separate books. You see what I mean? So when you're thinking about your topics, are you doing a brain dump that is too many things together that needs to be a series? Or are you doing just one thing that's focused, that you have a step-by-step process for, that you can share with somebody that's very simple and easy for them to understand? This is how you decide if you have one book or if you have a series in you. In the meantime, if you have not yet joined the 3-day free Book Profit Challenge, do that at bit.ly/Book Profit Challenge, and I will see you there. All right, bye.